Welcome to our Fabric Fast program. FAST standing for Fabric at Scale Together. And Fabric Fast is a program built by the Microsoft Global Partner Solutions org to help our partners ramp up on Microsoft Fabric. Now, although we designed this content specifically with channel partners in mind, we are placing this content online not just for our channel partners, but for everyone, allowing you to find the content that's most useful for you. Each session is going to dive into a different area within Fabric, covering everything from high-level sales and go-to-market strategies, and others with a little bit more technical depth and architectural guidance. If you're interested in joining the series live, check out our resources tab in our content repo, where we'll post our current schedule. And in this session, Meital Winer is going to give us an overview of Fabric from the go-to-market perspective, including an overview of the opportunity space and resources for partners.
Good morning, good afternoon, happy Friday, everyone. I am beyond happy to be here. Thank you, Brian and Pumbi, for the kind introduction. Nice to meet everyone. Before we start, can we have a round of applause for our partners, because you make everything possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The amount of impact you bring to our customers, everything you do is absolutely incredible. Thank you for choosing Microsoft. We always aim to have a win-win partnership with you. And through the tech team, we aim to bring the latest and greatest information to you. So Brian kindly introduced me. I'm going to reintroduce myself just in case. My name is Meital Winer, but everyone calls me May, so you can call me May if that's what you like. And I am the Data and AI Partner Strategy Lead for SMC. You can connect with me via LinkedIn. Please do so. Say hi. I'd love to meet who you are. And within the next 40 minutes, maybe a little bit less, I aim to show you about Fabric, about how it connects with AI, etc. So if we go to the next slide, first, I'm going to talk about why build a Fabric practice, okay? I know this kind of seems obvious, but for me, it's absolutely critical to start with a why. For those that are starting to following me on LinkedIn, you probably can see the amount of things I write about the importance of starting with why, starting with the golden circle. Why are we doing this? What are we doing? And how are we going to do it? So if we go to the next slide, I want to start with the first point, okay? This is obvious. I think most of us know this, but AI is transforming the world. We all recognize that AI is transforming not only how we work, but how we think. And it's not a surprise for anyone here. I think most of us are interacting with AI tools every day, either if that's Copilot, or if that's ChatGPT, or if your customers are using things like Azure OpenAI or Azure AI Foundry. AI is completely transforming the economy, the world, and how we think. If we go to the next slide, we're going to see that in order to understand what makes AI great and what makes AI transformative, we need to start with the source of what AI truly is, which is good data, right? Data and good data is the fuel that powers AI. I have tons of partners that continuously ask me, May, how can I build the best AI model, the best application, the best in class? And the first answer I give them is you need to have excellent data. Excellent data is going to be absolutely critical, right? The best AI models, if you put garbage in, most likely you're going to get garbage out. So it's incredibly important for customers to get their data estate ready for the era of AI. If we move on to the next slide, we can think a little bit about the 2024 and kind of 2025 AI landscape. There are a ton of products out there, right? Like, I wish that this slide would encompass them all, but that's not the case, right? There's more and more tools and LLMs and SLMs and RAGs and everything out there that allow us to not only interact with our data, but to make sure that it's properly cleaned. Moving on to the next slide. And that's why, from a Microsoft perspective, throughout the last couple of months, we have been putting together our products and technologies together into what our CEO, Satya Nadella, who you hopefully have heard of, refers as the Copilot Stack and AI Stack. Now, bear with me for a moment. I think you know where I'm going. I know that we're going to be focused on Fabric, but AI is such a critical part of the conversation today that we need a good foundational data in order to be able to take advantage of this Copilot stack. So, of course, I'm here representing Microsoft, but I'm also representing myself and team. I can tell you the best platform to put all of the products because of the end-to-end capability and having the same consistency on data model is going to be Microsoft, right? You can see from things like Microsoft Copilot, which you can easily do like SaaS applications to be able to deploy AI, to building your own copilots with Azure AI Foundry and things like Copilot Studio. Below that, as you know, we need to have a very strong foundational platform. So this is where Azure comes in. Things like Fabric to have a pretty good data hygiene, having the right AI infrastructure, etc., is absolutely critical. When we're doing in the your data tier, right, of the Copilot stack, we are converging all of the capabilities that we have in the Azure data team into two things, right? We're thinking about Azure databases and Azure Fabric, right? In this session, of course, we're going to talk about Azure Fabric, but hopefully through this very quick intro, you kind of have a sneak peek, right, into why AI is completely connected to Fabric, and hopefully you know that Fabric is completely connected to data. If we move on to the next slide, in the next slide, oh, there we go. I briefly want to talk about Microsoft Fabric, what it is as a product, etc. So last year in Ignite, not the Ignite that just passed, but the one before that, we introduced Fabric GA. So the company made a huge bet in bringing together a set of core workloads in a unified single software as a service platform to go from raw data to AI or business intelligence value in the hands of your customers, right? Historically, we used to leverage things like platform as a service, etc., that required a little bit of more technical capabilities, but Fabric really came to simplify and group some of these capabilities together. Today, and this slide is a little bit outdated, so the number of customers is much more, but today we have about 16,000 customers on Fabric, pretty much in every location, in every industry, including that 70% of the Fortune 500 companies today use Fabric. Moving on to the next slide, I really want to dive a little bit more into the capabilities that Fabric has, etc. So this vision has really resonated with customers, right? Because again, today, data is a currency. We live in an era where data is abundant, but by abundancy, we also know that comes a responsibility of knowing how to properly use the data, right? So we see customer adoption for Fabric is off the charts. While we're excited about the number of customers we have today, this is only beginning, right? We're excited about bringing Fabric into every customer and every organization on this planet. As an example, right, as a company, we've democratized access to data and analytics to scale within Power BI. Today, Power BI has thousands of customers, including 90% of Fortune 500 companies today use Power BI. and it's widely used by Power BI developers. This curve is the actual usage of Power BI since its launch. So you can see the amount of adoption we've had today, continuing to grow exponentially. The actual growth has been accelerated since we launched Fabric. And again, thinking about the era of AI, this is only going to continue to accelerate. If we move on to the next slide, you're going to see that the reason I'm talking about Power BI is because when it comes to most of our customers today and how our customers interact with data, Power BI plays a completely critical role. And for every Power BI developer, Fabric is just one click away. If we go on to the next slide, there are a couple of very exciting offers when we think about Fabric. Number one is that we offer a free trial with no Azure subscription. Your customers can start taking advantage of this offer today. There's no credit card required, and we give every developer about 17,000 of Fabric capacity value over 2 months, so you can build something real. Again, another very, very good example of how we want to make sure that we democratize technology by ensuring that we give a chance to everyone to use it. And you can go to the link aks.ms/try-fabric to try it out. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, I love this slide, not only because the animation is absolutely fantastic, but number two, because as you probably know, one of the things that most of us struggle with today is keeping up to date with the amount of innovation going on. I don't know if any of you were able to go to Ignite last year, but Satya spoke about scaling laws. Basically, the velocity of innovation that is happening in the market today is going to be as quick as every 6 months instead of every 18 months. So as Microsoft, we are not done. We continue to innovate every single day. So what you see here in this slide are weekly blogs to learn about the new Fabric capabilities from our team directly to you. We consolidate all ship capabilities into a monthly Fabric blog. Of course, you have access to this great training, Fabric Fast, which you're going to get a lot of updates and insights. But it's super, super important to keep your skills and knowledge updated. So if you go to ideas.fabric.microsoft.com, I'm going to repeat that in case you are typing, ideas.fabric.microsoft.com. You can create or vote on ideas. We want to hear directly from you. Again, as I said in the beginning, you partners help us make more possible. So every semester, our leadership team with the Fabric engineering team reviews top voted ideas. So you can contribute what the future of Fabric is going to look like. Let's go on to the next slide and dive a little bit more about the capabilities that Microsoft has. Sorry, I need some water. So, these are basically the workloads that encompass Fabric today. In Fabric, you have persona-based core workloads for data engineers, data scientists, data warehousing specialists, and even Power BI pros. So you can go from the raw data to the AI or BI value, all working under the same umbrella. So you don't need to do anything separately. Everything is built under one foundational platform called OneLake, right? All of these workloads, you'll find AI is built into Fabric. That means Copilot accelerates the entire journey. And governance, because security is a top of mind for us here at Microsoft, is completely built in with a product called Purview. During the last Ignite, they announced RTI is now GA, so there is a lot of real-time data ingestion that you can do from things like IoT devices, application telemetry, and so on and so forth. Fabric is here basically to make it simple. We have thousands of customers that are trying all of these things. We're seeing massive adoption. So my ask today, right now, is to try it out. You have the offer. You within the next few weeks, you're gonna start experimenting with hands-on labs and that sort of stuff. So really get started. If we go to the next slide. This is kind of like a simplified view, if you may. We've combined data engineering, data science, data warehousing, everything into one analytics. So again, we are here because we want to simplify and multiply the work that you're doing. In the next slide, you're going to see another key pillar there, which is database. I started saying that in order to develop meaningful AI models or deploy AI features in applications, etc., we need to have the right data, right? And the reason that they made room in this slide is that the biggest change to Fabric since they announced it is the introduction of Fabric databases, a class of databases that unite transactional and analytical workloads to enable what was previously actually impossible. So things like SQL database in Fabric is the first engine to come to Fabric that is currently in preview, right? So again, continuous innovation to make sure that the ingestion of data is easily made. So when you deploy things like Power BI, AI, etc., it's done in actual real time. If we go to the next slide, we're going to be able to talk a little bit about the Fabric roadmap. There we go. Thank you, Brian. Okay, so starting from left to right, starting with an AI-powered platform, we want to make sure that you dramatically accelerate your time to value. Okay, so you've heard things like real-time ingestion, being able to ingest from things like IoT, application telemetry, etc. Number two, the ability to build on one lake is absolutely incredible. Number three, making sure that these AI capabilities reach every business user is completely critical. And all of these capabilities are built on a mission critical platform because we are completely on top of that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the customer journey inside of Fabric. What does it look like, etc. So let's take a step back and talk about MSEM. What is MSEM? MSEM stands for Microsoft Customer Engagement Methodology. It's basically how Microsoft quantifies the sales cycle of a customer. There's 5 sales stages. It begins in listen and consult and ends up in manage and optimize. And the worldwide GPS team, which is the team that serves our partners, is completely focused in thinking, how can we support our partners in every single stage? So regardless of what your stages look like as a partner, you might have 6 sales stages or 7. They basically translate into pre-sales and sales, okay? So here you have an example of what an MSEM journey looks like for SMB. I purposefully brought the SMB MSEM journey because I want to highlight how Fabric applies to every customer, okay? Earlier, I said that Fabric is widely used among Fortune 500 accounts, which are accounts that are normally enterprise, right? So there's no surprise that an enterprise account would use Fabric, but here you see things that are specific to SMB. So starting from the listen and consult, which is the first stage, right? It's literally what it says. We are listening to the customer and we are consulting on the best solution there is. Here, number one, we have a great amount of resources for you to be able to enable yourself. Thank you for switching slides there. You have a great amount of enablement resources from things that are on demand. If you go to the Azure Depth platform, to things like the local GPS teams creates, like the ones that we are in now. Number two, we have things like partner playbooks. Partner playbooks are literally a manual that explains how to sell, how to have that conversation with the customer, what type of questions to ask, etc. We also have things like campaign in a box. Campaigns in a box are a campaign that has a ton of assets for you, from infographics, email to the accounts, level 100 presentations for you to have, explanations on how Fabric is connected to AI, Fabric is connected to applications, Fabric is connected to SQL. It's incredible. I'm going to put one example in the chat as soon as I finish so you can see. So once you listen to the customer, you consult on the best solution, hopefully Fabric is the right fit, we move on to the next one, which is inspire and design, right? We start to think what this solution is going to look like on paper and on the platform. We start talking about more level 200 technical workloads. We start understanding what type of resources we need, etc. Here we have two things. Number one is that we have an offer called Fabric in a Day, which we package up everything you need to have a one-day workshop with a customer to come up with that solution. And number two is that we have something called dream demos. Dream demos are videos of actual solutions per industry and per customer on what an actual example of that Fabric solution looks like. You sat down with the customer, you ideated what the solution is going to look like, then you focus on the last pre-sales stage, which is empower and achieve, right? We want to get that customer commitment. And here we have two things. Number one is the Fabric trial, which I briefly mentioned earlier. Again, you can check it out at aka.ms/try-fabric. And number two is that if you are a partner that has a specialization in analytics or an data and AI SMB designation, you have access to Azure Innovate. Azure Innovate basically provides up to $10,000, depends on the market and the type of offer, for you to be able to do a proof of concept. Let's say that you use all of these assets, the customer signed the deal. Let's go on to the post-sales stage. Post-sales stage basically talks about optimization, talks about implementation and actual realizing value of that solution. Here you're going to have also Azure Innovate deployment funding, which I think goes up to $100,000 by deployment. It's going to vary by customer size, etc. Number two, we have the customer migration factory. If you're interested about learning more on that, you can hit me a message personally and I'll send you a deck. And last but not least, we have incentives, right? Because as I said in the beginning, I really want to focus on how Microsoft wants to make sure that this is a win-win situation. And every time you and your accounts consume Fabric, you earn Microsoft dollars out of it, okay? Let's go on to the next slide.
Donovan has his hand up, raised up, so I guess he has a question for you.
Donovan, please, go
Hi,
ahead.
no, my name's Danae.
Sorry,
Oh,
Danae.
Danae,
okay.
sorry.
It's okay. We all have funny names. Thank you. Thank you. I'm with Ingram Micro. I'm curious about the Dream Demo page. I just checked again. A lot of those demos haven't been updated since 2023. Are we going to the directing partners to the wrong page? Is there, somewhere else in the channel that we can go to?
Yeah. So some of those videos are from 2023, but I'm checking the page, and the last, for example, purview with Microsoft Video is from 2024, so 6 months ago, because it was published in December. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat. I also put some of the readiness and enablement resources for you to check out. The worldwide team is continuously updating some of these demos, and I will pass on that feedback to do a little bit more of an update, but there are some that are 6 months old.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely is a big ask for more updated Dream Demo workshops. That'd be awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, I have like 5 minutes, so I'm gonna hurry up here. But here are some examples of the in a box campaigns that I mentioned earlier. There are kind of like two types of content that we have. We have PMC, which stands for the Partner Marketing Center, and the DMC, which is the Digital Marketing Center. The difference between these two is that number one, PMC is a standing content library. So if you click on any of these links, once you get the deck, you're going to be able to see that there's a ton of content. But DMC is what I like to call the best kept secret at Microsoft, because it's a platform where you can publish content week by week. You can select the language, the content that you want to publish, and how you want to publish it. And basically, it publishes for you. It's super, super awesome. It has an actual schedule. So let's say on Monday, I send emails to customers about an infographic. On Tuesday, I schedule a presentation, etc. So it's more of a platform that you can leverage to actually use that content in an interactive way. If we move on to the next slide. Again, I put the link in the chat earlier, but here you can see some of the dream demos that I mentioned. I see that Brian is gonna take note on updates to it, etc. So super, super relevant. If we go on to the next slide. So today I mentioned earlier the chance to do things like fabric in a day, etc. What I really like about these offers is, number one, they're proven. Okay, so these things have been done multiple times. So this is a proven methodology. You don't need to guess or try to make assumptions on whether the content you're gonna present works or not. Number two, it's official Microsoft content. So you have things like co-branded registration pages, lead generations, etc. So super, super good. If we go on to the next slide, some of the eligibility for you to have, I'm not going to go over this in detail because I know you're going to have the deck, but super good to always check to be up to date with all of the Microsoft eligibility programs out there. If we go on to the next slide, again, how to get started. You can use that link. It's a self-serve, so it's super, super good. And I want to talk about Azure partner-led offers. Okay, so if you remember in the MSIM stages, I spoke about Azure Innovate. Okay, so about 2 years ago, Microsoft created a way for you partners to basically leverage these offers or funding offers in an in an autonomous way, meaning that historically, like if you're a partner here, you probably know what ESIF is or ACO. You would need to go to a Microsoft team, and the team would need to put in the request through OneAsk, etc. But about 2 years ago, Microsoft did something incredible, which is it created a way for you as partners to basically leverage this funding through Partner Center. Partner Center, for those that haven't used it, I think most have, but it's a platform where you can check your credentials, check incentives, check everything, where you can check your profile. And basically, when it comes to funding offers to help customers and help you sell more efficiently, we have two, right? We have Azure Innovate, which covers more of the advanced workloads, if you may. And we have AMM, or Azure Migrate and Modernize, which covers what it basically says here, which is migration and modernization scenarios. By definition, analytics would fall into Azure Innovate. If we go on to the next slide, here is what I was talking about earlier, which is basically you have two ways to get funding, right? So number one, you have the way of getting funding yourself, right? So going through Partner Center, making sure that you have the right specializations to do so, etc. And or through the Microsoft field team, which they nominate for you. If we go on to the next slide. Okay, let's talk a little bit about requirements and basically how the funding works, okay? Number one, in order to get partner-led funding, you need to have the specialization in the track that you're going to nominate, okay? So for example, if you have a analytics engagement, you need to have the analytics specialization. If you have an AI apps implementation, you need to have the build and modernize AI apps specialization. Today and historically, again, there are no exceptions for this process. This process is super highly automated. There's no way to give exceptions. My suggestion is that if you as a partner today, you don't have the right specialization to support your customers, start planning to do so. We can support you with like certifications like DP 600, etc. How does the funding work in terms of sizes, etc.? So as I said, there's pre-sales and there's post-sales, right? The size of the opportunity for post-sales is going to define the partner payment you're going to get. This partner payment is done through your incentives portal. So again, there's no like ESIF paperwork or that sort of stuff. It's super easy to do. So for the pre-sales offer, if you're in market A, what constitutes market A for Americas would be Canada or US. And if you're in market B is the rest of Americas, which is Latin America. If you have an opportunity that is going to consume, again, we're talking about fabric, so let's focus on that. If you have an opportunity that is going to consume over $25,000 and you have the analytics specialization, you can leverage these funds to do a proof of value or proof of concept, right? Once you do so, you took advantage of all of the pre-sales offers, the customer signed, right? Now let's go to the deployment offers. So as I mentioned earlier, all of the offers are going to be defined by the first year consumption of that opportunity. Let's go with an example so I can briefly explain that. Let's say that you have a fabric opportunity that is going to consume $100,000 during the first year. So if you go to the middle column, you look what $100,000 falls within the gap of, and you can easily identify that it's going to be an Innovate Small. Why? Because it's between 25K and 125K. Assuming that I am a partner based in a market A, I'm going to get $15,000. Okay. So again, if you take into consideration that I'm going to use pre-sales and post-sales for a 100K opportunity. Between these two offers, I'm going to be getting 25K, which is an incredible ROI, right? Because it's basically for every it's a 4-to-1 ratio, right? So again, super critical to have the right specializations for you to take advantage of these offers. There are no limitations when it comes to licensing, right? This can be either through EA, CSP, etc. The only limitation that we have today are two: is number one, we can't use this on strategic customers, and number two is customers need to have a TPID. TPID stands for Top Partner ID. It's an identifier that we use that you need to nominate. Team, the fastest nominations that I've counted year to date takes 7 minutes. Okay? 7 minutes. So if you're not using these offers today, you need to use them. They are absolutely incredibly easy to use. So start nominating today if you have the right specialization. If you don't, please let me know what we can do to be able to support you to get it. Let's go on to the next slide. Okay. So these are basically what I explained up until now. Azure Innovate are funds to support the customer, right? And support you to be able to sell better, right? Because we're all incentivized when a co-funding is in. But we also want to incentivize you as a partner when it comes to AI, Fabric, etc. So I'm going to put the link in the chat where you can see all of the details, but there are a ton of incentives we have today specifically aligned to CSP where you can earn money, right? So for example, for every CSP project that you sell, you get a 3% rebate a month for that Fabric engagement. If you attach AI, you're going to get 7% of what that AI consumption is. If this is a new customer, meaning that you didn't have CSP on that customer before, you're going to get 50% of the total consumption of that customer for 12 months, right? So a ton of incentives available for you, which is absolutely incredible. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, these are basically some of the opportunities that I explained to you. So again, we have the partner incentives that I just explained. We have the customer incentives that I just explained, and we have additional funding like the cooperative funding that you get, which is basically every dollar that you make from CSP, you start to accumulate dollars that you can earn towards to do marketing activities, market development, solution development, etc. With that, I'm going to go to the last slide that I have, which is an encouragement to learn about Azure Innovate. Team, if you go to the link there, you have links on how to nominate, you have requirements on the specializations that... With that, I'm going to stop here. I know that I was a little bit over time, but I want to reiterate what I said last time when I started, which is please connect with me if you have questions. I report to Microsoft, but I work for you, okay? So reach out if you have questions, comments, ideas, whatever I can do to help you sell more Fabric, I am here to help. And with that, I'm going to pass it on back to Brian.
Thanks for watching our session. Our calls to action for our partners: join our Fabric partner community on Teams. The Fabric engineering team hosts regular calls on technical topics as well as AMAs with our leadership team. And the Teams channel provides a great way for you to participate in ongoing discussion and ask any questions that you might have. And while we hope to see you in one of our hands-on workshops, we also have lots of learning opportunities in our Fabric learning paths, so dozens of hours of content are available to help get you up to speed and keep you updated on the latest enhancements. And finally, if you're interested in hosting your own in-a-day workshops, such as Fabric Analyst in a Day or Real-Time Intelligence in a Day, reach out to us and get started. I'll paste all of these links in the description below. Thanks for watching.